Looking back at Mary's yes to God at the Annunciation, we see that just as the Annunciation was a point of departure for Mary's development in faith and as a disciple of Jesus, baptism fulfills the same role for us today. If we were baptized as children, we later make a conscious choice to be Christian at the moment of confirmation. Or perhaps our choice to be Christian was at a later time in our lives. Whatever the moment, it is good to recall the time when we knew that we were members of the Christian community because we had discovered that faith and our growth as disciples of Jesus were an ongoing process that invited us into an ever-deepening love relationship with God, a God who loved us first. And we are there now because no matter our age or our circumstances, in the words of Paul's letter to the Ephesians, we deeply desire to develop the same mind and heart of Christ. I don't take these words lightly. I'm sure that you don't either. Life experience has taught me that this call to put on the mind and heart of Christ carries unforeseen joys and challenges. The courage at times for me to walk with situations that altered my life radically. What about you? Recognizing Mary's unique vocation should help us to appreciate our own unique call as Jesus' disciples today. Like her, we are called to trust that the Spirit of Jesus, while respecting our person, our gifts, and our limitations, will show us moment by moment how to make Jesus' values our own, how to respond as Jesus' disciples in these times. Reflecting on Mary's life experience with Jesus, her faith journey showed us that God was not and is not distant, even in the midst of chaos and catastrophe. And our world knows many of these. From her life, we saw that faith, walking hand in hand with discipleship, progresses and changes through life. It summons us to live in the present and to hope in the future. We learn from Mary the meaning of staying on the journey for the long haul. As our faith journeys unfold, with our eyes on the encounter between Mary and Elizabeth in the Visitation, we are reminded that intimacy with God and service of neighbor form an intertwining dance. At the heart of the encounter between Mary and Elizabeth is a call to you and me to live in an attitude of hospitality, aware that every person, and indeed the whole of creation, carries a sacred story. From the meeting between Mary and Elizabeth, we also learn that the Jesus we carry in our hearts must be shared with others. And this summons us to ask, do our words and actions show that faith in Jesus and membership in the Christian community are a source of hope in these troubled times? Are they a witness to God's love, compassion, and justice for all people? The words of St. Teresa of Avila remind us, that Christ has no hands or feet but ours. In closing, let us keep before us the image of Mary in the upper room at Pentecost. Her growth as a disciple, her faith journey led her beyond the pain of Jesus' death. Her grief and the joy of the resurrection to gather in prayer with the disciples in the upper room. She joins the group gathered as a mature woman, a mother, the only one who knew Jesus from the moment she conceived him in her womb until his death. Fidelity to the Spirit of the risen Jesus called her to join the new community that grew beyond the Pentecost event and to enter into uncharted territory. Her fidelity required flexibility. So does ours today. Here we see clearly the parallel between Mary's growth as a disciple, her faith journey, and that of every Christian and the church at large. Her pilgrimage of faith remains a constant point of reference for every Christian and for the church. Mary goes before us, alive in the communion of saints, a constant reminder that every day is a new moment for you and me to say our yes to God in and through the ordinary of our lives.